Cheers, legends. Sammy from Short and Stout Beer Reviews. We've got another side-by-side beer review. This one a bit easier to drink. They're a bit lighter. I know 4 cans, but it's the relatively new core range from White Bay Brewing. They're out of the Balmain Peninsula in Sydney, so they're on the harbour, not far away from like the main centre, like where the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House and all that is. Um, as far as I'd probably say they're known mainly for their lagers. They're really good lager brewery. They had two guys there, or a guy and a girl actually, working there for a while that really got them going and like good reputation, especially with their like Czech style lagers, like even their dark lagers and that. Their core range here, I've got two lagers and two hop forward beers. So the first one I'll talk about, like I'll just tell you the first four anyway and what each one is. So this is the extra pale lager at 4%. So obviously all these beers aren't going to be mind blowing. They're all just basic. Compared to the last two nights, I've done sort of hype stuff. The Czech Pilsner, which is 5%. So I've actually already reviewed this on the channel. I think I did it a couple of months ago, but yeah, I thought I may as well do all four together. Then you have the Midway Pale Ale, so it's like a mid-strength pale, 3.5. So yeah, they're all under 5%. So I certainly won't be getting drunk tonight like other nights. And then you got the Hazy Pale at 4.5. So yeah, I thought I'll may as well do all four in the one hit. I like the primary colours, the yellow, blue, green, and red. The cans stand out, look pretty cool with just the simple W on the water. Yeah, so I don't know when they first sort of changed it over, but yeah. So all these beers are readily available, and then they still have their limited releases. I think White Bay do monthly releases. If it's not monthly, it'll be every couple of weeks. They don't bring out new beers every week like some other breweries do. But yeah, I've got my Crafty Cabal glass. I do have a White Bay glass somewhere, but I couldn't find it. It's sort of like a small, like can glass where it looks like the actual can. But yeah, let's get stuck in. And cheers to the chat. So far, we've just got Stewie. Good to see you, mate. 4.7? No. Cheers, buddy. So yeah, the last two nights have been pretty big, doing all those side by sides and big beers and that. But thankfully, this one will be a bit easier. I want to do some reviews tomorrow in the morning, so it's probably a good thing not getting too pissed tonight. Cheers, Disco. Good to see you, buddy. So yeah, first we're going the extra pale lager at 4%. So they're all going to be very easy drinking, approachable beers, the sort of beers that when you go to a brewery as a first timer, these are the ones you're sort of going to try first. Nothing's really going to excite me, but they're solid. And like I'm saying that, I'm actually a big fan of the brewery, but yeah, these are just your basic beers from them. Some of their limiteds are phenomenal. So yeah, pause. I would say a straw, like a light straw, probably medium carbonation. It's about probably a 3-finger head. I would say light to medium body. Let's go a whiff. So it's got quite a bit of lemon zest. And yeah, slightly grassy. I would say, as far as the malt goes, you're sort of getting like a touch of bread and biscuit, but it's like grainy as well. It's like a little touch of sweetness. Here we go. We've got a dog that doesn't know what he's doing. He's going to be going back and forth, driving me nuts. You should have stayed where you were, bro. Yeah, that nice touch of lemon. I'm not really picking up like a spice, like a peppery note or anything yet, but let's get in there anyway. Cheers, boys and girls. Very crushable, quite dry. Yeah, as I said, quite grainy, but in a good way. I think they do just basic lagers very well, these guys. It's a sort of beer like if you went to the brewery, they probably have this sort of beer where it's like get your half price pints on Thursdays sort of thing. And this would probably be the allocated beer. Just that one that everyone can sort of get around. As far as ABV goes, I'd say, yep, bang on. You can tell it's around that 4 mark. It's still got enough sort of oomph to it to know that it's full and like not a mid strength or a light. But yeah, it's got that nice sort of, you're getting like a floral note as well. It's quite sort of hoppy and got a nice level of bitterness for such a basic beer. Suppose I better check some comments. Ah, cool, dude. Yeah, I won't be going as long tonight because they're fairly basic beers. This is what I mean, Stewie. I'm sick of explaining it to you. When it comes to beers, ratings, you're not going to give a beer like this a huge score. It just doesn't work like that. I've explained it to you numerous times and I'm sort of sick of going over it. It's like a basic core range beer. You're never going to give just an average low ABV core range beer a big score. It just doesn't work like that. Yeah, I like that dryness and that bitterness on the finish. But yeah, very easy drinking, approachable, sort of drink anyone could have. I mean, if the people out there don't like bitterness, it's probably still not a beer for them. But yeah, let's get into the second one. Cheers, Adam. Good to see you, brother. So now we got the Czech Pilsner. That's at 5%. I don't think these guys have like ingredients on these cans. They probably do on their limited release stuff, but not on the core. It's very basic. One thing I've discovered with them recently too, which is pretty cool, they've just done an official beer for the Sydney Swans Football Club. I always like seeing like sporting collaborations. It's always cool. So yeah, you'll go to like a Sydney Swans game now, and they'll probably have White Bay beers there instead of just your run of the mill macro stuff. I think it was like a sort of a same size can. It was like red and white and had the big swan on the front of it. And it works because the brewery's like based sort of around the harbour, and it's like they're a good brewery to sponsor the footy team. So the Czech Pilsner, I would say it probably looks a little more full than the last beer. Colour's the same. I would say carbonation probably a little more active. It's got a fair bit like a sort of spritz going on. About a one finger head, this one. I love a good Czech Pilsner, so let's see how it goes. They do have a limited release Czech Pilsner called Gantry Crane. So sort of similar to this, but more oomph with the malt and the hops. And it's like awesome lager. Yeah, this smells unreal. So this is the sort of core range beer that I love. Finding it hard to read tonight. Must be because I'm tired. Cool. Yeah, it's like a lot of people are getting brew hosts now. When I first got them, it was real exclusive, but this time I've got them and it's like there's heaps of others. Cheers, Craig. Speak of the devil. I just sent you a message before. There's plenty of. How many beers have had disco in the name that you've had so far, mate? There's been heaps. Cheers, Jackman. Good to see you again. Anyway, so with this one, you're getting the same sort of like the. It's almost like it's got the same hops as the last one, but it's more punchy. So it's like grassy, slightly peppery. The lemon zest is there, but I feel like it was stronger. Like it was more sort of in your face on the last one. But I reckon that would be due to just the lighter malts had sort of shined a bit more. But on this one, you're getting, it's not as grainy, more bready this one, but still biscuity as well. You can tell there's more body to it. As far as sweetness goes, probably fairly similar. But yeah, just on aroma, you can just tell there's a bit more going on, and like a little more boozy as well. Anyway, let's get in there. Cheers, guys. Yeah, we're still having some nice weather here, but yeah, I'm slightly concerned about what's going on in Brisbane. I think that cyclone's meant to hit in the next like 12 hours or something. It's pretty scary. The cyclone itself probably won't do much damage, but all the weather surrounding like that area of Queensland gets flooded really easily. So that's what everyone's concerned about. Like overnight now that it's like late at night, this is probably where they're going to get hammered with like wind and rain. Yeah, for a core range beer, this is like really nice. It's just, yeah, like their Gantry Crane Czech Pilsner. It's probably one of the best Pilsners in the country. It's sort of based on Pilsner Urquell. It's even got like a very similar can artwork and stuff. It's, yeah, like they could nearly get in trouble for how similar it is. But yeah, it's a limited edition beer, so it only comes out like I think a couple of times a year. And yeah, it's almost like this is sort of the little brother of that. I feel like if you were a traditional Czech brewer and you tried this, I reckon you'd be like quite impressed. You'd be like, yes, this tastes very similar to what we do back home. Um, Trying to think of it was a young couple, they were the head brewers. I think it was Dennis. Dennis was from America and he was like, he'd worked with DJ over the years at a few other places. And then Jess. I think Jess started off at like Pirate Life or somewhere like that. And yeah, they were a couple and then working together for White Bay, and they sort of made White Bay like go up. And then all of a sudden, I think they wanted to travel, so I think they finished up at White Bay on a good note, and then yeah, I think just took off like backpacking, and I think they've been brewing like throughout Europe and stuff. It'd be interesting to see what they're up to. But yeah, really good people. Yeah, Pilsner Urquell's awesome. It's one of those beers though, because it sometimes can be readily available. You got to be careful with dates because sometimes you'll see it in places like your liquor superstores, and you get excited that it's there and there's heaps of them, but then it's like 9 months old or some shit. Being the beer it is, it does last a bit longer, but yeah, it's still definitely a beer that's way better when it's fresh. So yeah, as I said, the first two beers were lagers, and then the next two are like more sort of pale ale. I normally go ABV low to high, but I thought being two lagers and then two hoppy beers, one of them's a mid strength. I thought, nah, fuck it, I'll go the hoppy beers last. even though one of them's only 3.5%. Yeah, Budvar's good. We just don't see it here very often. I feel like you guys get it all the time in England. I could probably go a bit more, I think. At least I've had these a few times. Well, I don't know about the mid-strength one, but I've had the others, so no need for photos or any shit like that. I'm assuming no one out there is probably drinking just due to the time. But yeah, because that one I did last night was pretty big, and I ended up staying up pretty late. And that I was a bit of a wreck today. I've sort of wasted a lot of today because I got up early to do Beer Man's show, and then that was an hour later than normal. I think it must have been maybe because of the time difference or something, or I might have just got my times mixed up. I'm not sure, but yeah, I had fuck all sleep. I was waiting around to get on that, and then I finally got on it. And yeah, you know what it's like with the show. You even if you've done your review, you sort of got to hang around till the end. And then I was going to go on Eric's, but I'm like, no, there's no way I can be bothered with that. Then I had a couple of hours of sort of broken sleep. And then, yeah, I was just like, cook some dinner. Then I'm back into it again doing these. But yeah, it's like tomorrow I want to do this brew host stream. And then, yeah, sort of, I don't know, it'd be good to hang out with Drew and that again. I haven't sort of spent much time with him, even though I've been on holiday. It's sort of been a bit quieter on YouTube throughout the day, I think. It's probably my fault, Matt. Good to see you, mate. It was a good stream, though. I can't believe it went for as long as it did. But, I mean, 6 beers, they're all pretty hyped. Fair bit of ABV to most of them. I went back through them and finished each one. It wasn't like I just had the half and then finished. And then, yeah, there was a lot of talk in the chat and that as well. No, it went pretty well. Yeah. Yeah. It's good if, like, yeah, breweries have that one or two really good core range beer they can rely on. I mean, mountain culture has status quo, so everyone loves that beer. Keep going back for it because it's like a really hoppy, like tasty pale ale. Drinks like an IPA. Um, some of the craft breweries here in Australia don't even have a core range. Um, trying to think who else has a really good sort of standout core range beer. I mean, Range have the like the disco and those, but they're still relatively new, so then they haven't sort of established that reputation yet. Range are one of those breweries that didn't have a core range for Yonks, and they only started it, yeah, I think last year. Yeah, a lot of them last a fair while. Apologies if I miss comments. One style of beer you don't really see here in Australia very often is like a winter warmer. Yeah, I'm on holidays next week. I've got a bit on, but I've got a bit on sort of midweek, but earlier in the week I'll be about. I'm going to see the mighty Kasabian. I'm going to a couple of breweries. I'm going to go to some food places that I've wanted to check out for a while. I'm actually trying to book in to do a Starwood whiskey tasting. They've got this stupid thing now where on their website they say you have to be a minimum of 2 people, but it's like I'm from the country. It's like I'm traveling alone. I want to go try your shit. Like I'm not going to have anyone else with me. So I thought if I just like shot him an email and just told him my situation, like I'm coming down to the city from the country for a concert, and yeah, I just want to try their shit. Will they let me just do it by myself? I mean, you join a group, so it's not like you're there by yourself. It's just, I think they just encourage people to turn up in twos or more. Mm. But yeah, this beer's nice. On to the hop forward stuff. One thing I found with White Bay, a little bit like Boat Rocker, they're so good at some of the styles that other breweries can't get right. But then every now and then they'll sort of have a bit of a miss with their hazies. I sort of like that. Like I respect that because so many other breweries, all they concentrate is on there is their hazies, and so many other styles are pretty lackluster. But yeah, every now and then you'll get a banging hazy from these guys, and then one sort of just misses the mark. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the hazy pale drinks. Cool little glass, this one for a taster. So here we go. Probably one of the lower ABV beers I've had on the channel. Midway Pale Ale, 3.5. I'm assuming it's going to be like American style. Yeah, it doesn't really let you know, but just the fact that they've got a hazy pale in their core range, you'd think that this one's probably like just an American pale. So yeah, it could be one of those nights where I'll go to bed and wake up the next day and there could be absolute carnage up north. I hope it's not the case, but there's been some pretty insane sort of like like sea currents and like just the look of the sky. Pretty insane. The winds have been pretty What, gruesome? So yeah, this is definitely like a mid-strength like hazy. So I would say the colour's like very, very light yellow, and that's sort of expected being lower ABV. The malt base would be very light. Um, yeah, you still sort of wonder if they use like your flaked wheat and your oats and that. They probably do, but just like lower amounts, just to get that slight colour. Sort of like a lemony sort of colour. Cheers, Keith. Good to see you, brother. So I would say this one's probably a two-finger head. Yeah, you describe it as cloudy. Sort of has that look like a cloudy cider. Light carbonation. I would still say probably light to medium body. A lot of beers like this would probably look a bit lighter. But yeah, let's go a whiff. I sort of already had a whiff, but let's go again. Passion fruit. There's like some tartness there. I feel like it, yeah, maybe passion fruit and peach. Maybe some orange. Very light malt. It doesn't have that grainy touch either. It's probably more like biscuity, this one. Keith, give me some Irish luck. Cheers, Keith. Cheers, Paul. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're well. Just doing some core range beers from a brewery that I like up in Sydney. Maybe a touch of like mandarin. It's like a sort of a sweet citrus, touch of lemon zest as well. I feel like a beer like this would taste really nice with like Motueka if you got that lemon and lime. Yeah, it's good because it's got a real punchy aroma for how light it is. If it tastes as good as it smells, it's a pretty good mid-strength beer. Yeah, I could sort of imagine you guys up in New South Wales are sort of copping it a little bit. Are you getting all the activity in the sky? Like all the fucking weird looking clouds and shit? See, we get real hectic winds down here in the south, but we haven't copped any of that lately. It's just been sort of pretty solid, like nice weather. So yeah, going over the notes again, I'd say yeah, like biscuity, passion fruit, peach, orange, like mandarin, like sweet citrus, lemon. It's probably about it. Relatively sweet. I don't think there's going to be any sign of bitterness on this beer. I'm going in. Cheers. So yeah, beer 3 out of 4. This one. Can definitely tell it's low ABV. Just that initial sip, it's just like you sort of sometimes when you drink like a decent quality non-alcoholic beer, you just yeah, it's like you just know that it's like yeah lacking in the malt. I mean, this one's still fairly tasty for what it is, but yeah, you can just tell, like, going from beers like I was drinking last night and then having this, it's like black and white. This would be the sort of beer I could imagine. A lot of city breweries, they'll get like bike riders riding from like one brewery to another, just having like light beers and a chat and catching up with their mates. This would be the perfect beer for that. Or if you're out like walking the dogs, I don't know, you just sort of want just a cheeky refreshment before you're heading back home. Something like this. But yeah, for 3.5%, it's got a fair bit of punchy flavour, which is good. Midway Pale Ale. There's probably so many breweries that have a mid strength called Midway. I can already think of about three off the top of my head. So yeah, out of the four core range beers here, I think this is the only one I haven't tried. This one I think I've tried, but only at the brewery like years ago. The Czech Pilsner I've had plenty of times. Pardon me. How rude. But yeah, look at it. Looks really nice. I mean, the colour in my camera is shit. It looks real white, yeah, milky and washed out. Sort of like a dull yellow but bright. And then yeah, it's just got like a really sort of nice foamy head on it. You describe the mouthfeel as like soft and pillowy. I just got more of a sort of lemon zest. Slightly tangy. But yeah, as I said, if it had like a bit of Motueka in a beer like this, would be really refreshing. That like lemon lime sort of foresty just goes well with this sort of lighter hazy style beer. I wouldn't be surprised if it's got some Galaxy in it. Just with that passion fruit hit and yeah, being an Australian brewery. Does anyone have anything exciting on for the weekend? I went on I joined the chat on Ken from Scotch Down Under. I went on his chat after my show in the early hours of the morning. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I chimed in for a bit on yours." He's like, "Oh, I'm fucking jealous. You're going to that gig at the Opera House," and I was just like, "Yes, I can't fucking wait." I just wish I could go to Sydney for longer than I'm probably going to go for. If it wasn't for the dogs, I could probably fuck off and go there for like a week. It's a bit of a shame. But yeah, I haven't got dressed up like that for a while, so it's going to be odd. I used to get dressed up in suits all the time, going to bloody weddings and funerals and horse racing events, even sometimes with like work functions and that. But yeah, I can't even remember the last time I suited up. Probably my best mate's wedding, which was like fucking, would have been at least 5 or 6 years ago, I reckon. Maybe even longer. Oh, yeah? Where's that at? In town? That'd be cool. How many siblings do you have, Adam? I don't think I've ever asked. I knew you had a brother, but yeah, I hadn't really heard of sort of other siblings. I know Craig's got a sister. It's so quiet here, like in the house and even in the neighbourhood. I feel like, yeah, because like my house, it's like a little cottage house. It's close to like the road and shit. So I feel like when I'm doing this sort of stuff, like in the late hours of night, early hours of the morning, it's almost like I feel like people would be able to hear me. Yeah, good thing you're not in Alley Beach now. I've seen some of the like viral videos there of like people being stuck there and stuff, and the shops are running out of food. And Alley Beach, I remember when I was at school, we did like an East Coast trip. And yeah, I remember Alley Beach as being one of my favourite places I've been to in Australia. It was so cool. It's sort of like that hub to get out to like the Whit Sundays and yeah. My dog's making all these random noises. Yep. Cool. So on to the last beer, boys and girls. They're certainly a lot easier to drink. And not having to bloody go to the toilet or wash glassware in between. That bloody hybrid, what was it? A bloody kettle sour imperial stout thing I had last night. Fuck, that made a mess in the glass. It was a very odd beer, but it tasted all right. So, last but not least, and you sort of feel like this beer is going to be similar to that last one, but just a bit more oomph to it. So, yeah, the hazy pale at 4.5. So 1% ABV more. It's probably like a slight change up in. You're obviously going to have maybe some different malts. You're going to have like a higher ratio. And yeah, they're probably going to have slightly different hops as well. Here he is up behind me. Give it 5 minutes and he'll be jumping down again. So yeah, it's got that same sort of colour as the last one. And yeah, you describe it as cloudy. So yeah, it's like a dull yellow. It looks a lot lighter in the camera. About a 2 finger head. Pretty light carbonation. But yeah, it's probably not as hazy as what I thought it might be. I mean, the body's what you expect. It's under 5%. But yeah, let's see the aroma on this one. Yeah, a lot of these lighter hazies, dude, they look shit ass on my camera. It's always been the case, though, ever since I started doing reviews on it. So yeah, this one smells a bit more punchy, bit sweeter, like tropical fruit. I'm getting mango on this one, and probably more of like a bready note. Cheers, Twisted. Good to see you, mate. Got that lemon touch to it as well. Lemon and orange. I've found with most of their beers, or what I've had today, you're not really getting like much grapefruit. Yeah, it's all very similar in appearance to that last beer. So if it tastes fairly similar, it's sort of like, yeah, why do they have two beers so similar in their core range? Because yeah, 1% difference isn't really enough to. It might be, yeah, more punchy flavour on the palate, but yeah, just on the nose, very similar. But yeah, more bready, like mango, maybe some pineapple, lemon and orange. I'm not really getting stone fruit on this one, but yeah, let's get into it. Cheers, guys. Yeah, you can definitely tell it's got a little more body to it. Slightly sweet, slightly tart. No sign of like bitterness in these last two beers. Very low IBU. Still that sort of soft and pillowy mouthfeel, but yeah, just a bit fuller than the last one. But yeah, they're very similar. I think if you're going to have a core range beers, you sort of want to have them like each beer different to the other. I think these two are too samey. Let's go some more. Yeah, I tried this. I've been talking about it. They arrived yesterday or the day before. This young couple have started this chocolate business, and it's like all these different candies and lollies coated in chocolate. And yeah, I've just been snacking on a couple. Like I had like musk sticks, marshmallows, raspberry frogs, party mix, and the pineapple lollies. So yeah, 5 different flavors, just covered in real good quality chocolate. And you just think, oh, there's a lot out there that's sort of the same. Like, what's the big deal about it? But you tuck into them, and it's fucking amazing. Like, I don't know what they do to make them taste so good, but maybe it's just the quality of the lolly itself, and then the chocolate they use. But yeah, it's like they put crack in it or something. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, when I first bit into the must stick, I was like, wow, just that like fusion of like sort of a raspberry vanilla flavour with good quality chocolate. And the chocolate coating's only real light, but it's so tasty. I could see them being very popular around like Valentine's Day, and that to be like the perfect gift to give to your lady. They had all these different boxes and shit. But yeah, they're doing really well. Based in Melbourne. I think they just sort of started heavily promoting themselves on Instagram and just sort of started taking off. Hopefully your son's all right, buddy. It'd be good if they had the hops on them. Yeah, I'm struggling to read the bloody chat, let alone trying to read this writing on. It's like sort of faint white writing on a yellow can. It's ridiculous trying to read it. I'm at that age where I probably need to start looking into getting some glasses. Yeah, hopefully everyone's week's going all right. Pretty cruisy here. Yeah, this time last night was like, yeah, when I started needing to go to the toilet, but I was only like halfway through. Whereas, yeah, these are obviously a lot easier to drink. But yeah, it's always fun doing the side by side ones. Um, Obviously, that when they're beers with a bit more sort of a bit more hype, a bit more oomph to them, like something that's sort of new, like a limited release. It's a bit more exciting. I always knew this was going to be pretty like lackluster, but I just wanted to put it up. I thought it'd be good to just promote their core range. So if anyone sort of wants to know what it's like, they're certainly decent core range beers, but yeah, just for a lot of us that are advanced palates with craft beer and have tried so many massive beers from around the world and that, yeah, it's like you don't get excited about stuff like this. Nah, I'll only be going for about another 5-10 minutes. Last night was, yeah, as far as a review goes, last night was way longer than any reviews I've done. I did doesn't really count, but I reviewed the Snoop Dogg wine, and that sort of, because it was a wine and I sat there drinking the whole bottle, sort of turned into a hangout. Whereas the reviews, obviously, I interact with people and have a chat, and yeah, it's sort of different. I tend not to go for any longer than, yeah, like half an hour or an hour, depending on how many beers there are. But yeah, that 14-hour one, that was just nonsense. It was a good time though, plenty of laughs, good people on the panel and in the chat. I'll have to do another hangout this week since I'm on holidays. Possibly even tomorrow. So yeah, tomorrow, if anyone's about, I mean, it'd be night time for the US and the UK. I'm going to do a brew host stream. Brew hosts are a hyped brewery out of Portland, Oregon. Um, I've I've got a triple West Coast beer of theirs. Beerman's got the single version. Craig's got the single version. I'm not sure if Craig's joining yet, but yeah, if he can, it'd be good. And then Josh has got a triple version of another West Coast. So yeah, it'd be cool if all four of us are drinking brew host beers because they've got a fair bit of hype to them. So yeah, that'll be. I think I worked out that was going to be about 10 hours from now. So obviously morning for me, but yeah, late night for Craig and sort of early afternoon for, or dinner time for Josh and sort of early afternoon for Beer Man. Because it was four different time zones, it was hard to sort of try and work out a decent time. But I just tried to make it so it wasn't too late for Craig or too early for Beer Man. Cheers, Joey. Craig has had a photo shoot most of the day. Oh, he's probably been out and about doing the nature stuff, has he? I haven't sort of seen anything. So for me, it's a pretty easy pick which one my favourite is. The Czech Pilsner, definitely number one out of the four. And my least favourite, it's mainly just due to the style, is the mid-strength hazy. There's just not much to it. Thing that's, yeah, sort of, as I said, it's a little bit annoying because these two are too samey. Both hazy pales, one's 3.5, one's 4.5. I just don't see the point in having both of them in the core range. You may as well go like a lower hazy IPA or a pale with a bit more to it, or just have the midway by itself. Because yeah, to me they just both taste like mid-strength hazies. I can totally understand why they have the mid-strength one because yeah, it's good to have a lower ABV beer for people these days that sort of need to have them. But yeah, I just think that one should be higher in ABV or a different style. I've still got a little more of that first one, so I'll get into that again and then we'll wrap her up. Yeah, I'm not sure what streams anyone's got on. Whether like Joey's doing something later or maybe Rate My Beer or Simo or Buddy, Stewie. Buddy and Stewie have both been sort of fairly active lately. So yeah, back to the pale lager. If I was to score that, I don't normally score them when I do the multiple beers, but I'll sort of score the highest one and the lowest. So I'd probably give the Czech Pilsner like it'd be about a 4.2, 4.1, something like that out of 5. And then that mid strength, I'd only give that like a probably maybe a 3.5. But yeah, still pretty solid. Obviously, you'd go for something like these any day over a lot of macro beers. You hermit. Everyone saying hello to Joey. jagged, jag cheeks. Does that say twisted demon? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be the sort of thing if there's not, I'll be happy to do one just to fill in. But as I said, I might even do one. Yeah, either before or after this brew host thing. Pardon me. I keep clicking the wrong fucking mouse. Demon, I'm flattered. No. Nah, because I'm doing a couple of beer reviews in the morning, and they're only like, less than 10 hours from now, so didn't want to be going for too long tonight. After this, I sort of want to just sit and chill and maybe watch some other people's stuff. I'm very, very tired tonight. I don't have that usual life in me. So I feel like I need to just try and get a decent sleep. Yeah, that's a fair call. Oh, that's one thing I meant to do today. I was so annoyed I didn't do it. We had really good weather outside. And it's like sunny all day, a little bit of wind. I meant to like wash all my bedding, and I know it would have like dried really, really quick. Cheers, Wendy. Good to see you, mate. Did he fall asleep at the stream? Did he? I'd even get back into those chockies. Get off here, have myself a nice little a mocha. The old mixture of coffee and chocolate, always enjoyable with some of those chockies. Yeah, I'm in one of those moods. I sort of just want to watch some of my friends' stuff. I don't know whose, but just check out what people have done recently. Watch it for an hour or so, and then hit the hay. I mean, obviously, if there was a live stream after this, I'd watch that. Just talk shit in the chat, but not much going on. Cool. As in one where you sort of film it and then ask others to do the same thing. Because obviously I'm gonna put my hand up for that one. I did one the other day. You know how sometimes beers just slide down real easy. It was like a 5.5% pale, and I put it in the real big lager glass I've got, so there was a fair amount. I remember just tipping it back, and like within like 2 seconds, it was gone, and like I didn't even like try to drink it real fast. Then there's other times you sort of like struggle slightly. Oh yeah, that FU Winter one's been going for a while. Sort of doesn't apply to me. It's sort of I remember Shane saying to me I should do it, but change it up because like it's obviously summer here, so it just seems pointless me doing a chug going fuck you winter, and I'm sitting here and it's like nice weather. Yeah. maybe I should do one and say fuck you, cyclone, leave us alone. So that's another thing. I wouldn't mind, like, I don't know if they have like live footage of the cyclone up in Brizzy, but it'd be good just having a bit of a watch of that and seeing the change in conditions. And because, yeah, from what I've heard, it's meant to hit sort of early in the morning. Yeah, I love winter. You should, like, yeah, promote the fact that you love winter and stand outside just with like a bluey on shorts and stuff. That'd be pretty funny. But yeah, on that note, I'm out of here. Um, yeah, it's been a pretty cruisy stream. Nothing compared to the last two nights, anyway. But thanks everyone for chiming in. I do have a local brewery that I reached out to. They're based down in the forest. They're actually called Forest Brewing. Beautiful part of the country. I got every single beer they've got at the moment. I've got two bottles of. So what I was thinking is I might do this sort of shit. I might do all their beers together on one stream because I like doing this sort of stuff. So sort of like a showcase of that brewery. Um, they're a craft brewery. They're fairly solid, but none of their stuff really like rocks your socks. They do have like an imperial stout that I haven't had for a while. That was part of the box. They had like a West Coast IPA, like an Irish red, couple of lagers. Yeah, like it's going to be good just revisiting. They're all big bottles as well. So I thought I might even do them maybe tomorrow or the next day. That'll make for a good stream because, yeah, it'll be the sort of thing it'll probably go for a while because there's so many beers and they're big and they're different. Plenty to talk about. So yeah, look out for that one. But yeah, tomorrow morning, so in about less than 10 hours, me, Beer Man, Josh from Last Beer, and maybe Craig from Kent Beer Reviews are doing a Brew Host West Coast beer. Me and Josh have got a triple West Coast. Beer Man and Craig have got a single. So yeah, it's just going to be like a brew host with the boys sort of stream. Yeah, that should be all right. And then maybe another review around that. I've still got some American craft. I might even do a hangout. We'll see what's going on. But yeah, thanks everyone for chiming in. It's been good this week being on holidays. Just being able to do whatever sort of reviews I want. But yeah, hopefully everyone keeps having a decent week and we'll see you again soon. Cheers, guys.